Hello everybody, we're going to talk about Warhammer Plus. It's been going for a few months. I think we've seen how it's developing and I think we can make a judgment on it now. Now if I go to it and it asks me to sign in again, and I only signed in last night, so why the hell do I have to keep signing in over and over again? Don't they know there's such a thing called cookies? Anyway, this week we've got the Angels of Death against the Horde, Dakari versus Craftworthy, the battle report, and how to do skin. Now, I think it's safe to say, right, that whilst the animations are coming once a week, we're actually paying £5 for what is basically 4 animations if they remember to do them. Right, that's basically what we're paying for. There isn't enough Lawmaster videos, in my opinion. That would have been a good addition, but there isn't enough. You get a few things that nobody's interested in, you know, or what is done better by other people. You get Hammer and Bolter stories, which are always quite good, you know. Astartes, that's been re-released, you know, that was already been out on YouTube a long time ago. Right, so yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, they need to support the community a bit better than they have been, and including it on the Warhammer page, that's a good way of doing it. You know, definitely a good way of doing it. But yeah, I think there's a tendency these days, right, especially amongst the 35s and under, the age group that I had the most trouble with when I was modding, right, to bitch and moan about everything. And quite frankly, I consider them to be a bunch of pushy whip snowflakes. And if people don't like that, good, you're making my point for me. Right? The fact is, though, that GW can publish videos as easily as YouTube. It's exactly the same, except for this Astartes isn't an exclusive. It's available on Warhammer Plus, even if you don't pay for it. It's right there. Right, it gets a lot of downvoting and people screaming about it, but you don't have to subscribe to see it. They've given it away for free. Right, so it's just like being on YouTube. There's no moaning needed for it. I don't see the issue. I really don't see the issue. But that said, right, I mean, they're not making the most of the platform. What they've done is they've taken a world of creative creators, and they've said only our official creators matter. And in the process, they've vastly reduced the amount of content being made about Games Workshop's related stuff. It's one of the reasons why Russia lost the Cold War, because whilst the West were all helping each other and developing things for each other and communicating and, you know, coordinating, Russia tries to do it all on its own, right? And it lost, it fell behind. Games Workshop are currently making the same mistake. In a world where we have lots of content made for GW and they're trying to stop it, right? Emphasis is now on them to make the same amount of content every week as we were used to seeing on YouTube. And they're failing. They're failing miserably. I think what they should have done is they should have used their Warhammer Plus to highlight the best that came out, you know, in the community. So Astartes, for instance, it appears on YouTube. They should have said, "Hey, Mr. Animator, can we use your video on our Warhammer Plus site? We'd like to highlight it this month." And stick it on, right? Stick it on as content, right, with permission of the author. That way, their channel would have been alive and active and busy. Lots of content coming and going. You know, it would have been a one-stop shop. You know, the place, the Warhammer focus of the world. Instead, the responsibility is now on GW to keep up, and they're not. They're simply not keeping up. They've neutered their own community, and they can't be asked to keep up with what we're used to. I'm afraid GW, if you're watching this, right, you need to do 1,000, 2,000 times better than you are doing, right? Because the kind of damage you did to your own community by punishing those people that wanted to make it or jumping down their throats for using various names and imagery, right, has left you in a position where you now have to do at least as much work as all those people you told not to work on your stuff anymore. And you're not doing it. If we were getting like hundreds of videos a week, you're doing one. This is what I'm talking about, one. Right? Now, if you used your brain, GW, and you thought to yourself, we could ask these authors if we could use their content, we're the original copyright owners, they wouldn't really say no to that, and you did what you did with your starties and just put it up there for free, then your Warhammer Plus is going to be worth visiting even if people don't pay for it. And then when you do put exclusives up, the people that don't pay for it are going to see there's exclusives available and you might be tempted to buy it. You'd have a much more successful says Warhammer, page than you've got. As it happens, I think this is eventually going to be renamed to Warhammer TV. And that's it. And one video a month is never going to be enough to sustain it. It won't be. I'm already thinking of cancelling my subscription. The only reason why I didn't last week was because I noticed what a Starties was up. If it wasn't for that, I would have cancelled last week. And this week I've got Angels of Death, against the Horde. So I'm on the verge of unsubscribing. It's just not worth the kind of money I'm paying for, and it hasn't taken off, in my opinion. So that's my view of Warhammer Plus today. Sorry GW, I'm a big fan, but it's just not worth the money. It's another one of those half-assed attempts at something that you're known for doing these days. Like the codexes, half-assed. Right? Lots of errors, poor designs half the time. Then you release something that's not in the codex within months of the codex being released. I mean, I've got out by that so many times now, it's ridiculous. And the books that you release after the codex, half the time aren't supported afterwards anyway. All the content disappears for good. So they're just thrown out there in a way of making money, and they're not good value for money, and neither is this. Anyway, I'll decide over the next month if I want to keep it or not. But right now, I'm thinking scrapping that, getting Disney maybe, Disney Plus. Right, see you later.